So this one here, this is around Orchestrator. So again, Orchestrator is the automation tool. So depending on who you ask, they'll tell you that Orchestrator is the glue that holds System Center together. I don't think that's a statement that's far wrong, but you know, it depends on what your solution is or what your requirements are to deploy System Center into your environment. But Orchestrator is certainly the product that goes out and it pulls in all of the information and, you know, distributes it out by using automation and runbooks. And essentially, you know, hands up here who can code. Who's really good at coding and developing? Didn't think so. Okay, no one. And if you are, great, fair play to you. So what this is, what Orchestrator is essentially is it's kind of like Visio for PowerShell, if you think of it like that. So it's drag and drop. So with Orchestrator, if you have, I'll just put some of these up here while I'm talking. So if you have Orchestrator in your environment, you have a number of actions, if you like. So when you install Orchestrator, you have stuff like create script, you know, stop service, start service. They're like just default actions. And you can literally just drag them from the right-hand side of the screen and drop them into a blank canvas in the middle of the screen. When you have those actions in, you can then start building out runbooks and say, okay, you know, check this service, check SCOM, for example, for that alert. When that alert happens, make sure that service is running. If it's not, run it. Then email me, then do this, whatever. You can work out in your head, you can work out your processes and then map them down into System Center Orchestrator. So basically this particular session here was the best practices from two of the best Orchestrator guys on the planet outside of Microsoft. Actually, one of them isn't Microsoft. So two of the best Orchestrator guys on the planet. And definitely, if you have Orchestrator or you're thinking about deploying it even yourself, remember this. Installing Orchestrator is easy. Anybody can install Orchestrator. You will install that, I would say, in what? If you've got a SQL instance built, you will install Orchestrator in, I would say, about 15 or 20 minutes. Easy. Do it. However, it's a blank canvas. It's empty. So the easy bit is installing it. It's managing it. It's putting those runbooks in. And don't forget, if you've told something, go off and shut that server down. It will do it every time. So you need to work out those runbooks and make sure that, you know, you've tested them in your environment and that you don't deploy something that's just going to go and, you know, asterisk dot asterisk your whole file server or whatever like that. That's a small bit of code, I know, from my DOS days. So just some general rules. Again, this is more a pointer for people that are using it, you know, or that are potentially going to use it. Have a look at the slide. This is an example of how not to build a runbook. So this is Orchestrator at its best and at its worst. So this particular screen shows all of the different activities and the different flows. But a comment that came out of this session, and you'll hear the guys talking about it, if you have to scroll, so we can see here we've got a scroll bar and you could have one down the bottom. If you have to scroll, then the runbook is too complex. Simple as that. So that is an example of how not to do runbook automation. Even if it isn't with Orchestrator, if it's with another automation product, you can see that's far too complex. But hey, it's a good slide. So, you know, there's a session summary of that particular one. Start small, plan before you start, and integrate it with Service Manager to get the most value out of it. So it's not just an orchestration product sitting there, or an automation product sitting in the middle. You've got some sort of self-service in front of it. Nearly there. Second last session.